morning, everyone, and welcome to Serenity Gardening and Orchids. And as you can see, I'm surrounded by my orchids. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to water your orchids. Now, the worst thing you can do is make a schedule. I'm going to water my orchids every 7 days. Don't do it. I do, however, water my orchids on Sunday, but that does not mean they all get water. The best thing you can do for your orchids is to actually check them. So on Sundays, I check my orchids to see if they need water. We're going to start off with the Phalaenopsis orchid because it's one of the most favorite ones. And I have a Phalaenopsis here. She is quite beautiful, as you can see. And I have one right in front of you. Now, for the Phalaenopsis orchid, if the roots are a beautiful green, like you see here, she does not need any water. However, it can be deceiving because if you look at this root on the top, it's white. And when the roots are white like this, all throughout the pot, that's when you want to water. Okay? White, silvery root, time to water. Only then. I don't care if it's 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, whatever. Only water when your roots all look this silvery white color. And because this is all green, it says, I don't need any water, so I'm not going to water it. However, because this root up top is so white, what I do is I give it a little spritz. And when you give it a spritz, be careful not to hit the stem because you do not want to cause stem rot. So back here is good enough. And I'm just giving her a little water, just spritzing her a bit so that does not become too dry. And the same thing for the roots on the other side that are very dry. And that's all I do, guys. Try to please everybody, okay? Let's give it a moment and you'll see how it turns the greenness. See how she's already turning green? Big difference from when I first showed you, see? She's green now. So, the Phalaenopsis is ready. She don't need water today. I'll check her again probably around Thursday to see if the roots have all become white. Okay. So, we're going to just move on, putting her back in her pot. And we're going to move the Phalaenopsis out of the way and on to our next orchids. Now we're going to be looking at the Cattleyas. Here's the Cattleya. Move some of these out the way. The cat. Here's the Cattleya. And here's the Cattleya. Now they are a little different. You want to water them when they are dry. So what you do, you stick your finger down in there and you feel for moisture. And this is dry. I feel no moisture at all. They're all pretty dry. Just sticking my finger down in the medium and feeling around. Dry, dry. And trying to get my finger down in there. Take your time, get your finger down in there and feel. And just so you know, this is dry. Okay, so all three of these are dry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fertilized water. And I do have a video that shows you my fertilized water and how to make it. And for this big pot, I'm going to use maybe 3/4 of this cup, this large cup here. I'm going to use 3/4 cup, and I'm going to water her very well. And I'm using this much water because she has a very big pot. And I'm just going to pour it right around the perimeter so that she gets wet. And when I water well so that I know she has enough, and I won't water again until she's very dry. I let the water come out the bottom. And she's coming out pretty good, see? Coming out. The water's just running out. And I let it all run out. And what I do is I pour off the excess. Now, because I don't really have a place to pour, let me see if I can just pour it back into this cup and discard it. That's what we're going to do, guys. Have something to pour it in. One moment, please. And all I did was get rid of that water. Put this back in her pot. We're going to move her out the way since she's done. It's one Cattleya down. And I'll get my smaller cup for these smaller pots. And I will pour the water in and discard any leftover. And just pour right around the pot. Make sure your medium gets nice and moist. Okay, 1. And 2. Just pouring right around on her roots, all around. Make sure she gets nice and watered all the way around. What I'm going to do, guys, in order to save time, I'm not going to discard the water from the bottom right at the moment. But when the video is over, I'll just get rid of all of the water that's at the bottom. And you can do that with all your plants. What I usually do is I water everything, and then I come back and I just start discarding the water that drained out of each Cattleya. Okay? So we got the Cattleyas done. Moving on. I'll do you these one off. This is a zygote. And how I water her, I keep her moist. And she's in bark, and I'm just feeling, I actually watered her yesterday, so she don't need any water. But again, I would use 3/4 of this cup up to here, and water her. She doesn't need it, so we'll keep it moving. Zygote out the way. I'm not going to have any place to put these. I have so many plants. Okay, this is a Maxillaria Tenafolia, and she likes to stay moist. And I have one upstairs that's in sphagnum moss, and with sphagnum moss, it's easier to keep her moist. So I find that I'm going with this bark. I'm usually watering her twice a week, just to keep the bark moist. But your choice of medium is up to you. This came in the bark, and I just haven't had time to put her in anything else. She's doing well, so she may stay in this bark for a while. But that's the Maxillaria Tenafolia, and just remember to keep her moist. When I water her, again, I use this cup, water her, and when she's dry, when she starts to get dry, when I feel like there's no moisture in her, I don't even let her get really dry since she likes so much moisture. When I stick my finger and I feel like she's starting to dry, I'll give her more. Not wet, guys. Keep her moist. So that when this water, sometimes when I water her, there's some water left in the pot. And what I do with her is, I'm trying to show you guys. See how there's a little water still in there? What I do with her is I leave the water there. It's not going to hurt her. It's just a little small bit. It's a small bit, and it'll keep her moist. And that's what I want. I want her to stay moist. Okay? So, moving on. Get stuff out the way so you can see what's next. I'm trying to do the one-offs. This is a phallus. And with the phallus, I do let her dry out. I usually keep her moist to dry. So if she dries out, I don't get too upset. But I do try to keep, don't let her get too dry. Okay? Like with the Cattleyas, I let them get dry through and through, and they're fine. They're fine getting dry. With this phallus, when she starts to get dry, I let her dry a little, maybe an inch or two, and then I water her. Hope you understand that. This is a phallus, and she has pretty new buds, and I'll be sure to show you guys when she blooms. And again, she would just get this cup. No water down the bottom of her. I don't keep water down the bottom at all. I pour it out immediately. Okay, moving on to the next plant. A moment. I'm moving them out the way so that I don't repeat on y'all. I'm trying to get the one-offs done. This is a Grandscriptum, and she likes moisture. She's pretty dry now, but I keep her moist, and she does very well. I find that the ones with the pseudobulbs like this, most of them don't mind staying moist. So, and Grandscriptums, they love water, so I keep her, pretty, not very moist, but a little moist. Okay? So she starts to dry a little, so what? Again, I fill the water up to here, 3/4 of the cup up to here, right here, and I water. So she needs water, so she's getting water today. And I don't worry about pouring the water off of her. Again, she likes to stay moist, so anything that accumulates down the bottom, I usually will let it stay. However, I do check to make sure that it's not filling up too much. Now see, she has water from before, so she did fill up quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of this. See, that's a lot of water in there. I'm trying to let you guys see. See, it's filled up to here and here. And that's too much water. I'll let her have maybe that much down the bottom, but not all the way up to here. So I'm going to pour some of this water off. One moment, please. Let me go with this water. And what I did was I just left a little, like right down to this first ridge of the pot. I left a little in there for her, not much. She don't need that much water. Okay, moving on. Okay, I think that's all the one-offs. What we have left, put some more water in my cubby. Okay, some more water. And what we have left are Dendrobiums. It's not Dendrobiums. Look at the beautiful blooms on her. She's gorgeous. Can you guys see? She is just absolutely, positively gorgeous. Okay. This is a chocolate chip. She's just about finished blooming. Okay. And this is my spring dream. And she's just gorgeous. They all need water. So, again, when they're in the smaller pots, they get 3/4 cup. Okay. And moving on to the next one. It's pretty dry. Okay. Again, 3/4 cups, guys. Up to here, 3/4 cup. Okay. What I'm going to go back and do, you can see how the tray is filling up with water. This tray is filling up with water. I'm going to pour the water off. I don't let water sit on my dendros, okay? So I will be pouring the water off, but for time's sake, I'm not going to do it at this moment, okay? There you go. Now, with these are all Oncidium types. Let me move the dendros out the way. I'll empty those in a moment. These are all Oncidium types. Okay? This is a twinkle. This is an Oncidium. Heaven Sent. It's the chocolate orchid. Okay? This is a Bolera, and she's gorgeous. Look at the blooms on her. Let me show you. And I'm showing you this with the Asceniums. It's an intrageneric type. However, what I do is I always treat them the same as I treat my Asceniums. Isn't she gorgeous, guys? She is just lovely, lovely, lovely. But I treat her the same as I treat my Asceniums. And here's another one. Like I said, she's a Bolera. I treat it like I treat my Ascenium, so I'm showing you her with them. And here's another Ascenium, and she has a beautiful, beautiful, she's getting ready to bud, okay? So, what I do with the ones, this is actually in a small pot inside a big pot. So she's only going to get a quarter cup, see? And you see how she needs, look at the roots. She needs to be repotted. And Mama's going to get to her sometime this week. Well, no, because she has these buds on her, I'm trying to just let her bloom first. And when she's finished blooming, I'm going to give her, I'm going to repot her, so you'll see that. This one also, the Bolera, and she doesn't need any water right now. But I'm waiting to repot her also. As you can see the roots? She has roots everywhere. Let me just pick her up. See, guys? Roots everywhere. So, those two I'm definitely going to be repotting, and you'll see me repot them. Probably this one first, because her flowers will be fading out. Once they fade out, we'll do a repot. Right now, we're talking about water, and forgive me, because I just went on a tangent there. This has already been watered. I watered this yesterday, but again, it's 3/4 cups. The only difference is if there's water in the bottom, I will leave a little water because she loves the moisture. Not a lot, but this may be a little teeny bit, like I always tell you, small amount, like this. Small amount. See these fingers? That much. Yep. So she doesn't need water. And she's starting to get dry, so I know that she does. So I'll get my little copy, which I just had it, guys. Okay, here it is. 3/4 cup. And I'll just water her good. Okay, so she's done. And like I said with my Asceniums, I'll let it sit in the water. It's not too much down there. Like I said, maybe this much it's down there now. And she'll be fine. They want the moisture. Plus, she has this buds. She needs it for her flowers. Okay? This one, because it's larger, this is in a large pot. Let me show you guys the difference. This is a really large pot. So what I do is I give her 3/4 of the bigger pot. See? And she's starting to dry. So I'm going to give her 3/4 of the bigger cup. And I already poured some water in here. Okay. And she's done. And again, what I wanted to do is, because I have sphagnum moss and bark in here, I want that water to sit down the bottom and soak up. And I'll notice on the top, when it really soaks in, I'll be able to see from the color of the moss that she has enough. And I'll pour some off. But I don't really think much is down. Let me look. Yeah, well, it's got a little more than I would like. But again, I'm going to let her soak up some, and once she soaks it up some, I'll pour some of it off of her. Okay? We did her. We did her. We didn't do my twinkle. It's my Ascenium twinkle. Okay? And you can see when you're watering your plants, look at them. Like this is dead. I'm going to get this off, and this is dead. And I didn't tell you guys, but as I was watering, I did look at them, and I look at them really well. so that I can see, like, if there's any kind of bug. This is when you see. You always look at your plants really well when you water, checking, just checking that it's healthy. Anything that needs to come off, like these dead branches, this is the time. Tip them right off. Trash. Throw them away. Okay? And then let me just give her water. It's my little twinkle. I'm putting my finger down in there. She don't really need no water. Doesn't have nothing in her reservoir. But she feels pretty moist. And that's what I'm saying to you guys. Just because it's watering day, don't mean you go pour in the water. You check first. You always stick your finger down in there and make sure if it needs water or not. And she doesn't need water. And I'll check her again around Thursday just to make sure that she's okay. But that's it. I hope that this helped you guys with your watering. And not difficult. The plants kind of tell you when they need water. Stick your finger in. If it needs water, give it to it. And if it doesn't, don't. With the ones that like to stay moist, the little bit of water that collects in the bottom, about this much. Again, I guess that's an inch, about an inch worth. Don't need no more. Let that stay in the bottom. It helps it to stay moist. I hope this has been an aid to you. And again, I'm not a botanist. I'm just showing you what I do and what works for me. You have a great day. You make it a great day. And also, as I always say, you're blessed to be a blessing. Help someone today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Love hearing from you guys. Take care. Bye now.